Good evening, Gateway. How you doing tonight? Oh, come on, you're doing better than that. How you doing tonight? Woo! I'm Mike Schrader, Vice President of Sales, and I'd like to welcome everyone, employees, family members, and guests, to our little birthday party. What a crowd! It's terrific to have the family here tonight, because Gateway is kind of like a huge family. And we like the clan to be here to include our spouses and significant others. But anyway, when we were planning this party, we wanted to have some fun. So we rented a time machine to take you on a journey through Gateway's illustrious past and into the future. Sort of like a Back to the Future kind of thing. Only I don't know where the guy is with the time machine. He promised to show up, but I don't see him anywhere. Maybe you can help me out. Do you see him anywhere out there? Wait a minute, something's happening.
What year is this?
1995.
1995. Great Scott, it still works. I was a bit worried, you know.
Me too.
It's been a while since I've used this contraption. I see you've invited a few of your closest friends. How do you expect me to get all these people in here?
Well, you're the one who said you had the technology.
Oh, okay. I suppose we could do a projected. No, we could do an astral projection. That's what it is, an astral projection boosted by the flux capacitor, and we could put it on the large screen TV and people could see where we are.
Okay, sounds good to me.
Good enough. Okay, doke. What I'm gonna need here is some coordinates.
Coordinates?
Coordinates. Let's see. Where do you want to go?
Well, we want to go to the future, right? I think that's it.
The future. Okay. What about 2045? A spot near here where you can see the future and the past.
Sounds good to me. How about you?
All right. Just hand me some plutonium and we're on our way.
Just so happen to have some plutonium.
That's an odd coincidence, isn't it?
This is going to work.
Yeah. I forgot my plutonium opener.
Have you tried Quick Trip? Not starting.
Thanks a lot, Einstein. I know exactly what we need here.
This doesn't look good to me.
Oh, this'll work, theoretically. Stand here, raise it high, and stay away from the metal on the car.
Thanks.
Now, if we can just get a storm. If we could just
I don't
get
like
a storm.
this.
Now we're cooking. It worked. I'm off.
This is kind of how I feel every Friday after a week at Gateway.
about eating enough prunes and finding your teeth every morning and stuff like that.
You might be a little surprised at my surroundings. Probably asking yourself why would the president of a wildly successful company like Gateway, that employs over 3 million people with 37 manufacturing sites worldwide, net sales last year of $7 gajillion, be sitting on a ramshackle old porch with a dog that smells like the back end of a mule? Well, you see, me and old Rufus here are just country boys at heart. Sometimes we like to get away from the hustle and bustle of Gateway and come out to my country home. Real beaut, ain't it? We were just looking through my old scrapbook here. Wanna see? It's got all kinds of pictures and stuff about back when I started Gateway 60 years ago. Here, let me show you. It all started back in September of 1985. That year, Tina Turner had a big hit with What's Love Got to Do with It, and the movie Out of Africa was the big Oscar winner. And I had this harebrained idea about selling computer stuff. Back then, programming a VCR was a big deal, so nobody ever really thought much about computers, especially in the home. I started the company with Hammer. What was his real name anyway? Hambone, ham, hocks, ham and cheese, Hammond, that was it, something like that. Back then, we went by Max Wheeler and Easy Ed Zimmerman, the very first Gateway stage names. Anyway, by the end of the year, we had 2 employees, just me and old Hammerhead. Total sales of $100,000. About the cost of a pack of cigarettes now, but we knew we were doing something right. 1986, they made a big deal over the Hands Across America, which was followed by a less successful Hands Across the Pacific later that summer. Remember that song, We Are the World? That was a big deal then, too. It was still mostly just the 2 of us working out of the old farmhouse. But in April, we moved into the Livestock Exchange building in Sioux City, and then my brother Norm joined the company. Boy, we were really moving up then. That year, we started to sell and build our own brand of computer, the Gateway 2000 XT 8088. That sold for $14.95. Things were really looking up for us as our total sales jumped to $1 million. There was some good news and some bad news in 1987. The bad news was the stock exchange crash, closing down over 500 points. The second piece of bad news was that the New York Giants won the Super Bowl. I hate the Giants. But the good news more than made up for the bad news. First, there was still just a few of us, so I could remember everyone's name. Second, sales kept growing to $1.5 million by the end of 1987. 1988 was the year that marked the kind of growth we'd become accustomed to. Ain't that right, Rufus? 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 Good dog. I gotta quit feeding you pizza and beer for breakfast. We placed our first national ad about the time that the Washington Redskins won the Super Bowl in 1988, and sales really took off. I think it must have been the cows. Just look at those rascals. How can you not like a cow? We started selling our 386 SX systems in 1988. Talk about speed demons. They had 2 whole megabytes of RAM and a 40 megabyte drive. State of the art. Boy, we've really come a long ways. We also outgrew our home in the Livestock Exchange building. And in September, we moved into this building in Sergeant Bluff. By the end of the year, we had 33 employees and reached $11.7 million in sales. Don't Worry, Be Happy was the song of the year in 1989. Pretty obnoxious song, but it pretty much summed up our attitude at Gateway. Things were going like gangbusters back then. Needless to say, in 1989, we were outstanding in our field. We shipped our first 46 systems in May of that year, too. In July of 1989, we started planning our new building across the river into South Dakota. We had to have some place to put all of our employees. We're at 176 by the end of the year. And sales had jumped over 70 million by that time as well. Although 1990 was a great year for Gateway, it was a bad one for the rest of the world. We got caught up in the Gulf War and Desert Storm, and the Exxon Juan Valdez ran aground off the coast of Alaska. For Gateway, we found a new home in South Dakota, and as we cut the ribbon on the building, we announced that we were expanding again. Boy, we were going fast in those days. Our total number of employees reached 600, with sales skyrocketing to, get this, over $275 million. We were growing so fast that in December of 1990, Inc. magazine rated Gateway 2000, as we were called back then, the second fastest growing private company in America. That was the year when our national advertising started using the fun and goofy and silly and crazy wild themes that we're still known for today, like this old saloon ad. The following year, in 1991, we became the fastest growing company in the country. No more of that second stuff. And they said I'd never make anything of myself. Ha! Sorry, Rufus. In 1991, we were walking in Memphis with Mark Cohn, and the Minnesota Twins won the World Series, beating the Atlanta Braves. In 1991, Robin Hood hit the PC advertising world. Boy, I had a lot of hair back then. Anyway, by the end of the year, we had total sales of more than $625 million. We also had over 1,300 employees, and to give them all a home, we started to make a teensy-weensy little addition onto our building, like 250,000 square feet worth. In 1992, Bill Clinton took over the White House, Jay Leno took on The Tonight Show, and Hurricane Andrew took out the Florida coast. In 1992, where national ads were serving up hot deals on software and systems, helping us win the big race to the computer finish line. 1992 was a year for big events. In April, we shipped our 500,000th PC. In May of that year, we introduced our line of portable computers. And in July, we paved the parking lot. That was a big event. And by the end of 1992, we had 1,850 employees with total sales. You ready for this? Total sales almost double from the year before, finally breaking that magic $1 billion mark. If you like disasters, 1993 was a good year. The World Trade Center was bombed, floods covered much of the Midwest, and the Chicago Bulls won their unheard-of three-peat NBA title. A disaster if you were a Portland Trail Blazers fan. 1993 was anything but a disaster for us at Gateway. In March 1993, we hired our 2,000th employee. The next month, we were named a Fortune 500 company. Good stuff, huh? Well, we were just getting started. Although it had taken us over 6 years to sell our first 500,000 systems, 12 months later we sold our millionth system on April of 1993. And as if that wasn't enough, in October we started up in Europe with our headquarters in Dublin, and the next month opened our sales and service center in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. We finished the year with a bang by going public on December 14th. hiring another 1,800 employees for a total of 3,800, with total sales for 93 peaking at $1.7 billion. In 1994, all Sheryl Crow wanted to do was have some fun. Forrest Gump's had a box of chocolates, and Michael Jordan left basketball to try his luck at Major League Baseball. Well, minor league anyway. Who'd have thought he'd become president after that move? At Gateway, things were anything but minor as we charged into 1994. Our PC ads brought power to the people and made us feel like a kid again. In 1994, we hit another milestone when we sold our 2 millionth PC. We also survived the Pentium controversy, entered the French and German markets, and added our facility in Kansas City, Missouri. Speaking of facilities, we completed another addition in North Sioux City. By the end of the year, we had over 4,800 employees with sales totaling an amazing $2.7 billion. 1995 was even better than 1994 when we shipped our 3 millionth PC. And then in 1996, we shipped our 4th, 5th, and 6 millionth PC. Amazing, isn't it? A lot happened in those first 10 years that really positioned us to be the global company we are today. Those early days were crazy, fun, dynamic, but most of all essential for the success of Gateway. Well, after my cue, time to get back to the boardroom, get cleaned up a little bit, I suppose, and time to complete our negotiations to build that manufacturing plant on Uranus. Well, thanks for stopping by. Do it again sometime and I'll show you the next 10 years. It's quite a story. Well, take care, y'all.
Hello again. That was a rough takeoff from Uncle Teddy's, but I picked up another friend of yours along the way. What's your name?
Rick
Rick.
Snyder. I'm the number 2 guy.
Oh, yeah, number 2 guy in your program, but number 1 in your hearts. I thought Rick could give us a good perspective on the present, you know, kind of the old here and now.
I have a question for you. How many of you have kids? Having babies is mighty popular at Gateway. How many of you have teenage kids? Quite a few. Although tonight we celebrate Gateway's 10th birthday, as I look at Gateway in the present, I see a teenager, probably around 15 years old. I see a teenage kid with plenty of talent, both athletic and academic. On the athletic side, we're very strong and fit and fast. Our competitors are quite a bit older than Gateway, so they have a tough time keeping up with us. We can do some incredible things that make us look like a world-class sprinter. The speed in which we set up our newer locations, Sioux Falls, Dublin, Kansas City, Singapore, and a whole bunch more coming, has been amazing. On the academic side, it's a similar story. I see a very bright, creative kid who should be a straight-A student, but sometimes brings home B's and C's because sometimes we don't do our homework. We've earned some great A's. Look at the Computer Shopper Awards we've swept the last 4 years. Of the total world market, Gateway has less than 3% share. That's significant, but we want to be the dominant force, and we have a long way to go. In the U.S., we have 4 competitors that are bigger than us, a lot bigger. And there are over 125 U.S. direct market PC companies in business, all potential threats, all ready to gobble up our customers if we let them down. Teenagers often think they're immortals. Adults know better. I'm not suggesting that we stop having fun at Gateway. I'm a firm believer that people do their best when they enjoy what they're doing. But we need to find a balance. We must also learn not to take ourselves too seriously. Teenagers tend to think of their next date or test or getting their driver's license as the most important thing in the world. We need to keep our lives in perspective. We have other responsibilities to handle. Most importantly, our families. We need to remember that making mistakes is part of growing up, and that the key issue is how we act when something goes wrong. As we mature, hopefully we can appreciate the fun, our accomplishments, and our mistakes of the past, and at the same time look to the future as an exciting challenge. Hey, Doc! Doc, I'm out of here. Where are you, Doc? Hey, Doc! Hey!
Oh, oh. I must have dozed off.
Doc, let's roll.
Okay, all right.
Okay.
Hop in the taxi.
Okay.
I just said deja vu. Taxi.
Microsoft and Gateway have a relationship that goes back to the very beginning of Gateway's work 10 years ago. It's really amazing the incredible success Gateway has had, and our partnership has grown, whether it's working together on product design, technical support, or marketing initiatives. I want to congratulate Gateway on its 10th year anniversary. The success you've had is phenomenal, and I'm sure that you'll continue to grow and have great success working together with us in the years ahead. Thank you.
10 years. My God, I'm impressed. Happy birthday, Gateway.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Mayor Emanuel Cleaver of Kansas City, Missouri, sitting here in front of my trusty Gateway 2000 computer, wishing you the very best as you celebrate your 10th year. In Kansas City, Missouri, the people are extremely proud and pleased to have a Gateway 2000 facility. We also want to make sure that you understand how valued you are in our community. We wish you the very best as you begin your second decade.
I hope you're having a wonderful time tonight. Even though Sioux City, Iowa is no longer Gateway's official home, we are home to over 70% of the employees who work in North Sioux. So I want to send congratulations from your friends on this side of the border. We're very proud of all that you've accomplished.
Hi, as mayor of the city of Sioux Falls and on behalf of its citizens, I'd like to say thank you to Gateway 2000 for including us as one of your cities where you do business. We take great pride that Gateway 2000 is located here in Sioux Falls. And congratulations on your 10th anniversary.
As mayor of North Sioux City, congratulations, Gateway. We're proud to be the home of your headquarters. Even though you cause a traffic jam every morning. Just kidding. Have a wonderful time at your celebration.
Hello. I heard it was your 10th anniversary. Boo!
All right.
How's everybody doing? You know, in that video, that was really the real me, and they make me up to look young. I think my hearing's going. How's everybody doing, really? All right, that was good. Guess we shouldn't have left the bar open that long, but anyway, it's fun to kid Rick, but Rick's a great guy. And Gateway wouldn't be the same without him. It's possible Gateway wouldn't be without him. He's helped me temper these kind of crazy impulses I have sometimes. I've had him a few times over the years. It's not an easy thing to do, but it is definitely necessary. I also owe a lot to my brother. He used to fill that role. back until 91 when he left the company. But like I always say, we've came a long ways, but we got an even longer ways to go yet. To put it in perspective, you know, I always say that a company is really nothing more than a group of people striving for a common goal. And Bob Beck, you got that. All right. Bob Beck, our new human resources guy, great guy, by the way. You should meet him. He tells me that over 40% of Gateway's people have been here for less than a year, and 25% less than 2 years. So that means almost 2/3 of the people here tonight haven't heard me talk much about Gateway's vision, about the vision for the future. By the year 2000, sooner if possible, I'm always kind of an impatient guy, I want Gateway to be the best place on the planet to buy a PC, and also the best place on the planet to work. At the same park last year, this same spot, many of you heard this enormous goal. I know it's big, it's huge, but I believe in thinking big. Thinking small didn't get us to where we are today. That's for sure. So how are we going to get there in the future? To be the best place on the planet to buy a PC and the best place to work? To be the dominant marketer of computer products in the world? How are we going to do it? Well, it's a combination of some things we've always done. Really? Service Plus. That's another thing. It's a combination of some of the things we've always done, some areas where we need to improve, and a few new twists. Okay, I've broken it down to 6 things. Number 1, we have to continue to offer the best values in the PC industry. Number 2, we have to be customer driven. Number 3, we have to be a truly global company. Number 4, we have to, and you'll like this part, increase our investment in you, our people. Number 5, we got to keep that Gateway spirit alive. And boy, it's alive tonight. And number 6 is desire. We have to want it. You guys want it? Now, I went around quietly telling people how successful we were going to be. And they, of course, laughed. Not always to my face, but they laughed. When we were in the stockyards, I remember walking down the halls and people shook their heads when I passed. I think they felt sorry for my dad having a long-haired loser for a kid. And the bankers, they wouldn't even talk to us. But we were undaunted by all of this because the people around me, the original Gateway people, they didn't laugh, except for when they were having fun, but they didn't laugh about the mission. They believed in the dream. Even when we couldn't pay them, they still believed in the dream. And their desire for success never faded. Now, as the company gets bigger, it's harder to hang on to the desire. It's harder to see how our individual efforts contribute to the company's success. But you have to have the desire to grow as an individual and to be the best that you can be. Together, we have to have the desire to make Gateway the greatest company on earth. Complacency can kill us. You'll never get to where you want to be, and Gateway certainly won't be the vehicle to take you there if we're complacent. Now, sure, we've been successful in 10 years, but our past success guarantees us nothing in the future. Now, I'm a living example that you can do anything in this world you want if you put your mind to it. Now, we've set goals for the company. Set some goals for yourself. Strive to get ahead, and together we'll all succeed. I hope I've shared my vision with you in a way that helps you see it and feel it the way I do. I hope you can believe in it as I do. We are standing at our gateway to the future. We've had 10 years of leadership, and the fun has just begun. Stay cool and stay tuned. Thank you, everybody.